So I know it's really hard because you've never been here. This is the driveway we normally come up and down right here. And he moved the driveway here.
I think we need the house up there.
I agree. Now that we've got this driveway here and I'm seeing it, I agree. We need to put the house there. This is literally our first view of our driveway. So freaking exciting. So our camper is right there, and we usually go in and out at our gate down there, but we have decided to make our driveway here. Gives us a little bit more privacy from the roadway, and there's less of a grade. Like this front part, there's a downhill slope, and this going this direction is less steep than over there where we normally go. So he's going to put in another set of posts like this over here when they're done. So here's our driveway. And it's not until you get inside the gate and into our property quite a bit that you can see the lower landing. It's moving day.
So twice that distance. 3 inches. Probably 3, maybe 4.
Okay. We are here at Menards again, and we are getting 4 railroad ties this time, and we're gonna get 30 cinder blocks. We are gonna shore up our camper, and we are going to use the railroad ties as a line to help keep the rock in place when it rains, so it doesn't go down, get eroded down.
It's the joy of the first steps of a child. It's the joy of your great-grandmother's smile. We came a long way, but we ain't slowing down. We got a strong pace, no, we ain't losing ground. We won't give up, and we won't turn around. No, look at the big wide world we're living in. Yeah, I'll keep running until I discover it. I know I've got I know I've got can't be wasting my time. You make friends all along the way, to break bread on another day. Always there to give you advice, help you find the wrong from the right. Even when you're not in their sight, you'll be alright. Just look at the big wide world we're living in. Yeah, just keep running until you discover it. Yeah, you'll be amazed at how far we can go. So what are we
there's a heat advisory in effect. We do a few little things and then we take a break and drink water. Do another one or two, take a break. Let me remind you that each one of these railroad ties weighs anywhere between 200 and 300 pounds, maybe more. So we're lining our rock installment here so that it doesn't erode down, because down there we have the ravine. With it being on its slope right here, we want to make sure that when the rains come and all this fluffy dirt gets weighted down, hopefully the rock doesn't wash down. I watched a very interesting video about the effects of logging on the land, and that there's a right way and a wrong way. I'll actually post that link down below, and they talk about don't get taken by landowners who log the land and then sell it. Because especially if your land looks like something like that over there. Because essentially there's a right way and a wrong way to cut up and down hills with the logs when you're dragging logs. And the way they did it is the wrong way. So basically they took all the earth, all the roots, all the rocks, everything out. So this will probably take like a whole human's lifetime to reestablish back to natural. We have the same problem on this side over here. But up there where our camper originally was, there's no soil because it all erodes down because there's no natural organic material to hold the soil up. Now, if you remember, I think a month or two ago, we had an estimate done by a guy, and so he came down to our property and gave us an estimate on how much it was going to cost. Basically, he said he's going to have to get a rock breaker to break up the rock, to bring in soil and all that other stuff to lay down ravines, because basically there's no way to bring rock, loose rock, into here and not have it eventually erode down the hill, because there's nothing to trap it in place. No soil to trap it into place, so to speak. The same problem arises with this one as well. It just goes right to the rock shelf. There's no organic matter for us to bring in any rock for it to dig into to hold the rock in place. The recommended part would be to cut through this land right here. So that's what we did. Pretty amazing, huh? So we decided not to go with that guy's bid because he didn't have the equipment to cut through the new land. He didn't have a dozer to push the trees out of the way. In the spirit of transparency, he gave us a bid of $10,530. He said it shouldn't be a penny more, but the problem is you're gonna have to hire somebody with a dozer to go clear it and get it ready for us. So how much is it gonna cost for somebody to come do a dozer? It's gonna cost an additional couple $1,000s, right? So we said, okay, thank you very much. We called our friend who actually does this work. So we brought him out here. He gave us an estimate, and for the whole thing, he gave it to us for just under $11,000. So let's look to see what he did. What he did was he opened up here on this end so that we could cut through the woods. And he opened it up, put another matching gate. There was some talk of closing up that side, save a little bit of money, putting some fencing material across. But we decided it's only $330 extra to get this, so we went ahead and just got another gate, added another gate to it. And we were talking about doing a retaining wall, and I was even practicing to build gabion cages, but we put that on hold for right now, and we're reevaluating what we're going to do up here. When we first bought our camper, our goal was to get it down the hill. We had actually got soil, and we were going to work with a guy. He was going to help us get it down the hill. We were going to get a driveway going. Anyway, and then Michael's truck broke down when we were taking our maiden voyage in our camper out to New Mexico for Thanksgiving. The truck broke down. The engine blew. We had to get towed back to Springfield, and then we had to deal with getting mechanics. So all the money we were going to sink into making a driveway, $10,000, we ended up having to get a rebuilt motor in the pickup truck. So while we recovered from that loss, we kept our camper up here until we could recoup the loss and rebuild, our savings. so that we can make the driveway. The driveway is approximately 660 feet with a RV pad at the bottom. Not only did he bulldoze the trees out, he built a trench. He dug in a trench so that the water would have a place to run off and it won't push our rock down the hill. So that he's graded it to where it'll run off into the trench. And if you come down here, you can see, whoops, he has it going into a culvert. So the water will go across the road over here. To down here, and then that way it'll go into runoff into the ravine. Over here at the base, he said that this was a natural place for the water to run off, and you can see where the before he kind of messed this up and everything, you could see where the water was running. And he put another culvert here. And then it comes out over here. To avoid having the water running across the driveway and potentially pushing the rock off into the ravine, he created a natural dam with the existing rock that he had to break up and use it as a guide point in towards to point the water towards the culvert to go across underneath the road. And we put these railroad ties here as a way to let us know where that culvert is so that we won't drive off into one of these little man-made ditches. This driveway is really not wide enough to turn around. It's kind of difficult, especially with the curvature of the road and where the placement of the culverts are. It's very challenging to get the truck turned around. So we have put it here so that we know where we can start making our cut around and then turn around, and then Michael can get it turned around wide enough and come around this way. So we would like to have rock eventually put over in this area so that we can add that as a additional place for parking and, you know, turnaround area, all that good stuff. And eventually, hopefully, we'll get all of this lined out with railroad ties also, and then follow it up the hill on this side here. Eventually, we'll work our way back down, but right now we're just going to work up that side over there. And because it's so dark out here, we're going to get some more of those solar lanterns, solar lights that we have up on top of the fence, and we'll, you know, poke it into one of the holes on each thing as a guide point to guide us down the hill. So hopefully it'll look really nice once we get done. Until next time, toodles y'all!